Welcome to Where the Scary Things Are. I'm your host, Monster Mash Ken, and with me is my co-host, as always, the Mistress of the Darkness, the Queen of Fright, the Lady of the Night, Muse. How you doing tonight, lady?
Good. Just trying to pull myself back together over here.
Hi, I know, all right, we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
Also joining us is Horo and Chris Zisi. How you doing, gentlemen?
Hey guys, hi.
Just trying to survive.
Yeah, right. Man, it's been a month, man. And I got hit with the hurricane. We weren't on last week. We missed everybody, so we're really happy to be back. We did something prior to the show, so we're a little lit. We're a little tense right now because we did this awesome event. I wanted to bring the team together, and Killer Casey was with us, but she's not on the interview tonight. That's okay. That's okay. It was a pleasure having her on for this event that we did. We did an online escape the room. And what I did was I reached out to this awesome company, Hourglass Escapes. I believe they're located out in Seattle.
Yep.
I saw them on Facebook, follow them on Facebook, and I saw an ad for Evil Dead 2. And you guys know me. I am the biggest Evil Dead fan there is. And I'm like, oh, I'm all about this. We just got done watching Host on Shudder, and we'll talk about that later. But I had to do something with my team, and obviously we're never going to probably be in the same room unless a miracle happens. But I wanted to get us together, and man, let me tell you something. If you guys are looking to do something fun with your friends via Zoom or family, this is it. This is what you do, man. It is awesome. The way the setup, I felt like I was in the cabin. But we'll get into all that in a minute. So I wanted just to bring in, we got a really cool panel of guests on tonight. Everybody that's here has contributed to Hourglass Escapes, the Evil Dead 2 room. But first and foremost, I want to introduce the man, Seth. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing awesome. I'm doing great.
Do you want to just kind of tell us your role and then introduce who you brought along to Where the Scary Things Are?
Sure. So I am the owner of Hourglass Escapes, and we have the officially licensed Evil Dead 2 escape room. And now, as you guys play, the Evil Dead 2 remote live video escape room. And so over here, I am the creative director, but then I have a really amazing team that helps me create the puzzles and props with us. And then I brought some of them here tonight. I have Regan Maxtravic, who is our set designer who built this entire set behind me by himself. And an amazing job. And he will be able to tell you a bit about himself. And then we have Tom Kanabi of Kanabi Labs. I think I'm pronouncing that right, Tom. And he did all the electronics and all the magic behind the scenes, and is probably one of the most well-respected and best designers in the country, if not in the world, for escape room tech. And then we have Andrea Hayes, who most of you may know from Twin Peaks as Heidi the waitress. So, and then we were going to have Ben Rock tonight. He couldn't make it, but Ben also directed a lot of the video stuff in here, and people may know him as the art director for Blair Witch Project, the creator of 20 Seconds to Live and Video Palace podcast, and now book. So, yeah.
Right on. Well, listen, on behalf of Where the Scary Things Are, I'm very grateful that you guys can make it tonight. What I'm not grateful is the heart attack that I almost had trying to get through this room. Now, I've done about 3 or 4 what's it called? Escape rooms, right? And it's a total different atmosphere when you're on the screen, and you have no control of what. Seth, I believe you were acting as Shemp, and
yes.
we're telling you what to do, and you played your part so well. And it's like, dingus, come on, get the, do that.
That's the point,
yeah. But you did it so well. You definitely helped us out a lot. So I got to do this. I got to do a cheers to you. This is the beer I'm drinking for Fear of the Beer of the Week. This is the Party 8 Over. It's a hazy IPA, limited edition, rotating series. This is Springdale Beer Co. You guys see that? Excellent beer. I've had one already, so I'm a little lit. But cheers to you guys all over at Hourglass Escape.
I'm cheersing with my Teddy's root beer. So,
oh, I love root beer. I'm a root beer guy. All right, so
Seattle.
Oh, a Seattle brand coffee. Who would have thought that was that thing?
Tap water.
Oh,
my glasses.
Oh, okay. From the Suez Canal, I'm sure. Inside joke. Inside joke. So I got it. The first question I got to ask. Let's talk about the beginning of the company of Hourglass Escapes. How did this come to be? What made you get into the online version?
So, I mean, we started out as a company in 2016, just a single room game. And then even with that first game, actually, that's how I met Tom. He helped us with some tech on our special sarcophagus and some video stuff with that. And then when we subsequently did this game, I knew I had to reach out to him. So eventually we grew as a company. We added a second game after Rise of the Mad Pharaoh, which was our first one. We added Tales of the Ghostly Galleon, and that's where Regan first stepped in and helped. He built a pirate ship for us pretty much single-handedly in about a week and a half. And that became, it's an amazing set that he built. And then I wanted to build an Evil Dead game. I always did. So I basically wrote this game about 3 years ago just for myself, like not ever expecting to do it. And then I came across a way to contact the people who have the rights to it. And it kind of just, I'm like, well, these are the people I can get involved. And I told them about, the team here and a few other people. And the studio said yes. So it's been open it opened last July. So it's been open over a year. And then when COVID hit, everything shut down and we needed a way to make money so we could not permanently shut down. And I'd seen some people doing remote games, and I sat down with a few of my team and we just figured out how to do it. And we knew though that we had to add value to it. So you guys saw a little bit of the player pack, but it gives people costume ideas and cocktail ideas and mocktail ideas. There's a drinking game you can play while you play the escape room. And then you meet Shemp, who is the person you're trying to help within the cabin. And that character kind of adds to it and makes it more of an event and less of a passive avatar, just kind of being your robot. And that's the short version of it.
Well, well done. I'm definitely
Thanks.
going to recommend this to a lot of our circles and our horror circles that we travel in, friends and family. Like I said, not everybody's able to go out and do anything these days, and I don't want to leave my house if I don't have to. You know what I mean? It's something I would be definitely recommending. So I'm going to pass it on to, let's pick on Chris, and we'll go through the gauntlet here, and we'll ask a couple questions. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey guys, I'm still sweating with my victorious team here, but just a couple of questions. First of all, you all saw what just happened. I know we survived, but did we actually do good, or were you guys soft on us?
No, you guys did great. I mean, you only needed a few hints, and you probably may or may not have even recognized when you were getting hints. We try very carefully to make sure the hints are within the character talking to you, because it's never fun to need a hint.
Yeah.
So, there's a few times, but no, I mean, you guys did great. I mean, you won. So, I mean, that's always good. And I didn't have to force things too much. There's times where we definitely help people along a lot, but you guys were just going through it. You guys were just plowing through puzzle to puzzle to puzzle. Yeah.
I don't know if you've thought about maybe selling merchandise, but one of the things I saw in that game, and Tom, I don't know if you're the one that created it or designed it, is the Necronomicon. I want one.
Oh. No, actually, I was the one who had that done. We unfortunately are not allowed to. We don't have the merch rights. I wish we did.
All right.
But I think there's somebody is selling these right now. Like Fright Fact. I forget the company. I don't want to say the wrong company, but it's a really, really cool one. So there is something available out there that just came out about a month ago.
I got to get me one of those. So I'm going to Google this thing. But, that was a lot of fun. I know a lot of escape rooms that I heard of, my son's done some, are sort of very loosely bound to a theme, where this one is very, very specific. And I've seen The Evil Dead, and I think I got it memorized, even though I haven't seen it in a while. And it made the whole thing better. And I don't know if I liked it a lot. I don't think I needed to be that much of a fan of The Evil Dead. But you know, I really, really appreciated the fact that this was an escape room that was very specialized and specific, and the true horror fans are going to gravitate to this. I hope that you guys move on from this to, I don't know, I mean, it's got to be The Legend of Hell House or something. I see 3 or 4 more of these that you could guys have standing. Are any plans for that?
Yeah, actually, we've all talked. We actually have it all kind of worked out and designed again with these folks here. We have the license to do an Arkham Horror Files escape room based on the board game series.
HP
Yeah, and we're doing Shadow over Innsmouth. It's all designed. It's just with COVID, everything's kind of been put on hold. But yeah, I mean, it's something Tom's already been. We're working on designs and Regan and stuff, and it's hopefully sooner than later. We're hoping.
Good. Well, speaking of on hold because of COVID, I'm going to pass it on to Haro now.
How come I knew that was coming to me with that statement? I'm down here in Florida. That's why he says that. So yeah, I'm in my own Evil Dead here. But anyways, I want to give the Reagan, Tom, and Andrea a chance to first, tell us your contributions to this whole design and this whole Evil Dead. I believe we saw a couple of you there. Just talk real quickly about how you got into it and your contribution to the Evil Dead that you did. I guess Reagan, if you want to start.
Okay, well, I was the builder, and I basically designed the room. I didn't really design most of the puzzle experiences, but I designed the layout of the room itself. And so I guess I'm the one who's kind of responsible for trying to make it experientially match the movie as much as possible, which means that I watched that movie more than anybody ever should. I probably watched that film 6 or 7 times just to sort of try and zero in on all of the little details that I could tap into. Obviously, for the purpose of scale, we couldn't do an exact replica of the inside of the cabin, but I tried to get a bunch of details in there that would make it feel very much like you were on that film set.
I will interrupt. Regan did help with a lot of puzzle design. I think I don't want to mention it because it's spoilers, but one of the last puzzles that you guys all saw with the very bright light was his, and that was all his idea, because I had a crappy idea and he changed that to be an awesome idea.
So yeah, so that's it. That's what I did.
All right, so I'm Tom, and I do all the electrical side of things. Funny enough, I actually have never seen The Room. I've never played The Room. I don't even know how the digital game version of the game works, but and that's typical. Like, I build escape rooms all over the country. It's my full-time job, and Seth will probably tell you that I'm the guy where Seth sends me a 20-page script of how this game's going out, and I'm like, Seth, take this script and throw it in the trash because I just want to see what electrical stuff I need to deal with. Like, I'm involved in so many projects, I can't get like attracted to the story. And sometimes I do get sucked into the story and I start like getting like, let's do this and this and this. And so it's like, I gotta get narrow focus. So I make the whole show work. I did it all remotely. I built the whole system here in my house in Philadelphia. And I shipped it out to Seattle, and I have the ability to remote in and change the game on the fly. So that's what I did to make this show work. That's not always the case. I'm normally on site, but it was a lot easier for us to work this way. We were prepping for COVID before COVID is the way I like to think about it.
Yeah. And again, I got to interject. Tom does I think people in his industry don't work nearly as hard as he does, because he's in Philadelphia time. I'm in Pacific Standard Time. And like something will break here at 10 o'clock and he's on it. And like when we were programming some of the stuff, like I don't know how his head didn't explode, because it was like 6 hours of the two of us programming just a logic chain
Yeah,
of stuff. And it's amazing, the work that he did for us. And then once it's done, it actually does not need any tweaking. It doesn't need to be dialed in. It works. And that's, again, why I use Tom over anyone, because my background's theme park world. And if something's fit, like put together, it should work. It doesn't, I don't want to deal with dialing things in. And that was always an amazing job, Tom. I can never
Thanks.
express how awesome it is and how much I love it.
And I guess it's my turn. My name's Andrea Hayes, and I had the honor of playing Henrietta and loved it. And I also, Reagan let me paint some of the lesser known, the dumb,
Let her.
the idiot proof props and set. I do have a background in technical theater, but I was like, when the set was done and we were just standing in there, I was like, I'm home, and I want to stay here now, because it is an amazing set. I'm just blown away. So, but Seth, I know, asked me, I met Seth several years ago through Artist Collab, and before I even laid eyes on his portfolio, and sent him a message, I want to marry you. So, but yeah, so I got to start in on his first escape room, because he's like, can you come and sew some stuff? And I'm like,
That's right.
How much do I have to pay you? So yeah, so it's been, kind of fun working with Seth all these years, and especially this one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he kind of tricked me too, because he just called me up out of the blue and asked me if I wanted to build a pirate ship, and I'm like, yeah, I want to build a pirate ship. My background is actually I'm a filmmaker. I do art department, production design, and art direction on film sets. So that's kind of why I bring a little bit of that narrative storytelling ability, as well as at least a modicum of carpentry skill to this project.
Cool. That's all awesome. That you guys do such great things to put all this together. Seth, I'm guessing, since this is obviously your idea, when did you become a horror fan, and I guess where did that begin and lead you into doing this?
As a kid, I remember, so I grew up outside Philadelphia, and there was a movie camp for kids called Cinekid back in the late 70s, early 80s. So in the early 80s, when I was a kid, I joined it, and you made movies, and it was amazing. And they would show movies on Fridays and Saturdays. It was like a big, like a party room where they'd set up chairs, and they actually would show it on film. And they would show movies like King Kong or Jaws or Frankenstein or Creature of the Black Lagoon, but in 3D. Like they'd actually have the glasses and stuff. So as a kid, I wanted to make King Kong, and I started out doing makeup, stop motion, and makeup effects, and then that just went to theme park work, and then eventually led me to escape room design and stuff like that.
Cool. Well, this is definitely a first for me. I usually enjoy going to haunted houses, like at Halloween Horror Night. So doing it virtually was very cool. And I know the way they kind of do it. I've done a lot of behind the scenes with them. So I know they work with studios sometimes. You mentioned you worked with the studio. Is there anything they did not allow you to do, or you had free reign to do, or?
So it's kind of a weird thing. Because now that my experience is only with two different studios. We've got the one licensing company we deal with that dealt directly with Studio Canal, and they're like, okay, here are your rules. And I'm expecting like a 4-page list, right? And it was like 3 sentences. Like, not kidding. It was, you can use any pictures in advertising that is one of the actors in makeup, but you can't use them out of makeup. And the reason is because if we're using somebody out of makeup, then we would pay them for that. And they're like, well, we don't have the rights to that. We have the rights to the character names, the characters, and the monsters, but we don't have rights to their likenesses. So we can't use any sound effects or music. We had to create our own. We would have to create all our own footage. And then basically they're like, just, those are pretty much the rules. We just then need to send everything for approval. So, every piece of art and every puzzle and the entire game outline, all our Facebook posts and Twitter posts that we mentioned, Evil Dead 2, trademark symbol, has to be very specific. But that's really it. They were really easy to work with over there. And then another company we dealt with that studio for the board game license. Again, it's pretty much just hear the bullet points and check with us before you put anything to the public. And after about a few months and going up and back, you very quickly learn these are the rules and just follow them, and it's easy. Because I think and the more you follow the rules, the more freedom they give you, because you're not, they're on my side. They don't want anyone to get sued, basically, is the legit reason why. So if everybody's just working together, everybody has a good time, it makes a good product.
Cool, cool. Yeah, that sounds about the way that they've explained it to us as far as the actual haunted houses.
Yeah.
Thank you guys, and I'm going to throw it over to Muse.
Okay, so we talked a little bit. Well, first off, I want to say hello to everybody before I jump right in. So we talked a little bit about the time it takes to complete the escape room. So I gotta ask, like, what has been the longest time that you've seen, like, where you're like, wow, this is like the longest we've ever been in this room? Like, have you ever been like where people just couldn't find their way out?
For the in-person version, yes. When it's a 2, sometimes a 3-person group, we've got about a 90% win rate in person, 95%. And that means sometimes they're asking for help and clues, but sometimes they've imbibed too much, and they are lucky they can find the door into the place, let alone out. It happens. Or sometimes it just doesn't click. But as long as they have fun, we don't care. Online, honestly, we've had 100% win rate, because as the game avatar, I can always control and even trigger things if I have to, because winning is fun. And the whole point of playing an online game is to escape reality and try not to feel like you're at your house. So we want to make sure they win. But really, we haven't had any major issues with people winning.
That's awesome. Like I said, we'd probably still be there if it was up to me, but I know Shump would have helped us out for sure.
Yeah.
So, with a project like this, how long did it take all of you guys to pull all of this together to create the game, to bring it to a virtual setting? How long did it take to complete all that? So this is like to everybody. I mean, I'm sure everybody had their role. I mean,
Well, it took us 2 days. I produced the video segment, and it took us 2 days to shoot everything. Like Seth said, Ben Rock directed it, and that was so much fun working with him. We actually hid a stick man on set somewhere because we have to.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
And then I just want to give a shout out to Tim Pearson, who did the prosthetics for Henrietta, and Alexandra Wright, who applied them. She did a really good job. She's a fantastic makeup artist. So.
Yeah. And then Brian Morris of Zach Labs. Tim Pearson sculpted a lot of the stuff for us. And then I molded everything, poured everything. And then Brian Morris did a lot of painting. He built the chainsaws for us at Zach Labs. And then Alexandra Wright applied all the prosthetics, and I assisted her. But I mean, she's amazing. Like, she did all the coloring and blending. I was just holding glue cups for her. Yeah.
So Seth, I just looked at the email, and you emailed me on July 31st, 2017 with the NDA for this game. So when did the game go live? Just so I have a...
last year, July 1st. July 4th. Yeah, that's right.
We did like a preview thing on the 1st, but our official open date was actually July 4th of last year.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So I was going to ask each one of you, what was the price? I'm going to start with Seth and just kind of like go on down the line. So what was the most challenging part of the game for you to bring to life? Would you say the biggest challenge?
Um. Oh, geez, that's too good of a question. Um. I think just getting the puzzle, the game flow right, but no, I mean, I'd say just getting it built and on time. So when we signed the contract, so when Tom and I did our first NDA, that was for a different. We were going through some different people, and then that fell through, and then I went direct to the studio. And when I talked to Tom, I ended up. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought. We basically had given them a July 4th deadline, or they had given us a July 4th open date. So I think hitting the deadline was super, super, super tough.
Definitely. So
Yeah.
Reagan, what would you say was your most difficult part of the project? You talked about a pirate ship. I don't know if it definitely sounds pretty monumental. For
Actually,
sure.
the pirate ship is comparatively simple compared to this room. The pirate ship was basically just set decking a room. All of the puzzles and everything had already been built and all that. So it was just kind of making the room look like the interior of a pirate ship. Whereas this one was more designing a full experience. And like I say, trying to track that with, with people who have seen the film, people who are big fans of the film, but also at the same time making it something that people who have never seen the film before are still going to enjoy it, even if they don't necessarily, spot all of the Easter eggs, as it were. And I guess for me, in the beginning, probably the hardest part of it was we had kind of originally, it's not that big a room, and so we had kind of originally, we were just going to do essentially the front room of the cabin. And after I watched the film a couple of times, I realized that a huge part of the experience of that cabin was the running around through the cabin. So we decided that we really needed to break the room down into, we settled on basically 3.5 rooms. Was kind of the minimum to where you're really feeling like you're flowing through the cabin. And of course that meant taking a room that was originally maybe big enough to really kind of pull off doing just that front room of the cabin, and then only using half of that to try to represent the front room of the cabin, and then using the other half to represent the other parts of the cabin and the experience, the narrative experience of traveling through that film.
Well, that's fantastic. Okay, so Andrea, what about Henrietta? What difficulties did you encounter upon playing that iconic character?
Well, the camera angle, I was actually hanging off of a stair. At first they were like, well, we're gonna have somebody standing right behind you to catch you, and I'm going, I would kill them if I fall, so come on. So yes, it was there's a behind the scenes photo of where you can see where the camera was and where I was, and it's that was the only scary part, and also because I couldn't see out of one eye, so it was just like, all right, just say action. Oh, and that I had to sing, but I guess I didn't well, so that's fine. But I want to give another big shout out to Reagan that Seth and I were working the booth at Crypticon last year, and you could see people when they walked in the vendor room all the way across just suddenly look over at our booth and go, no! And then come running up, and there were people dressed as the characters. And when Seth's like saying, oh yeah, and even the floorboards go the same direction, they're going, well, they better, and of course wow, these are real fans, so that was yeah, so he definitely researched it, and it's pretty cool. I can't say enough about the set. So
It's fantastic. So Tom, what difficulties did you encounter? I'm sure all kinds of electrical type of things. There could have been a myriad of problems, I imagine.
I'm sure. I mean, there was a lot of issues, but I think the biggest one is just being. I don't normally work remote, and I don't know why. Either I didn't want to get on a 7-hour flight, or I had another project that ran into his date. But being able to, so there's probably things you guys don't see when you're playing the game. There's a lot of lighting and sound elements that also go with the triggering and opening of objects, and so there's a lot of these really precise timing cues. and sitting on the phone with Seth and having him be like a little bit slower, a little bit faster when I'm normally on site, I can like gauge time, like, oh, 500 milliseconds added. So that distance really made everything take way longer and be a huge pain in the ass. And probably sitting there with Seth and yelling at Seth constantly, being like, your time is not right. Like, it's not 2 seconds, Seth. It's 1.5 seconds.
Yeah. And I know the spot that he's thinking, and it is I mean, we can just, it's the hand, that hand. There was a lot of cursing, like, I never want to work on a project again. I want to quit the industry talk, and screaming and yelling. And then, oh no, this is fine. I'm just, I get, well, I'm from outside Philly. He's from Philly. I know what that all means.
It's true.
Gotcha. Okay, so Andrea mentioned the fan base that you guys came across. So I know I would imagine all of you are fans of the film. So I have to ask you guys, what are your favorite scenes and one-liners from Evil Dead 2? I mean, you guys can just all kind of go around the horn here and give your favorites.
I mean, again, I'm going to have to say that, like, the first take, it's not my favorite line, but when I got to go for the first time, do the whole Deadite thing, that I was just like, it's like, oh my God, I've been a horror fan my whole life. So, it was just like to step into like an iconic role. It was like,
yes,
thank you.
Okay, so whoever wants to go next.
I'll go next. A farewell to arms. I love that pun, and it makes me crack up every time. And as a kid, that was like one of my weirdly favorite things. And quickly, Tyler Stewart might join us, who is one of our puzzle designers. He may zoom in just to let you know, Ken. But yeah, I don't know, Regan, what's your favorite part?
I think my favorite part, as a filmmaker myself, and as somebody who generally tries to make the movies that I work on, better than they should be. I kind of enjoy the fact that it's a film that is unapologetically bad. That all of the things about it that are super low budget and super overacted and all of that sort of thing, and they just make that work. And that's kind of fun for me, because that's something that, like, if I could never make that film. I'd be too embarrassed to be able to make it through, and I wouldn't be able to see how brilliant it was because, if it were my film.
Okay, Tom, what about you? What were some of your favorite parts of Evil Dead 2?
So it's funny. I mean, I grew up watching Evil Dead, and I probably haven't watched it since. I actually had it on the docket when we started working on it. I was like, I got to watch this just so I can get some inspiration. And then I didn't. But I mean, I always remember that classic laughing deer scene. I remember when he said he made the deer head, I was like, no, you didn't. And then he sent me a photo like right away, and I was like, holy shit, you made the deer. And so I'm glad to see that scene reflected in the actual room.
Definitely. Oh, the deer scene just starts laughing, and you're like, this is so bonkers. It's crazy. So it's fantastic. I love that you added the deer scene as well. Definitely, just the whole movie is just one great scene and one-liner after another. So I'm going to pass it back to Ken and see what other questions he has for you guys.
Yeah. So just to stick on the deer, and I don't want to give anything away about the room, but that was probably the hardest part of the puzzle. And I was so frustrated with it that I was like, I can't do this anymore. And I'm like trying to focus, and I was really just, I hated that part. It was so good that I was like, if I was in there, if I wasn't with great people, I would have just like, I'm fucked. I'm going to die. That's it.
It's a very tough puzzle. But I think, was it your one
Casey.
person, Casey? It is Casey.
Yeah.
Okay. She figured that out. She did great on that. It's just,
I knew she would, because she's a very smart gal, and I was like, Casey, I hope you just volunteer for this one, because I couldn't figure it out. But Stuart, I just want to say, Tyler Stewart just joined us right now. Yeah. Do you want to just mention Tyler's role real quick, and then we'll just keep moving on here?
Yeah, Tyler is the one who basically translates the in-person game to the remote game. So in this game, we got the inventory built for us, but with all our games, he helps me translate the documents, re-edits them to look better on the computer, and then also basically re-engineers every puzzle for puzzle and game flow for remote. So like without him really keeping me in focus and like working and like taking some of my ideas and then actually making them good and making the art make sense, none of this would really work. None of our remote games really would work without them and their just expertise in puzzle design and art. So yeah.
So, well, Tyler, how are you doing?
Thanks, Seth, for that like really flattering introduction.
No pressure.
I'm good.
Yeah, so we all confessed all our sins earlier, so now it's your turn. No, I'm just kidding. No. So we all went through the maze, or through the room. We barely made it barely made it out, but it was great. Well done. I'm assuming that the reason why this works is because you make it work with your role, Tyler. For us sitting at where we're sitting at, we're all over the world, country. Horo's in Florida, Chris is in Virginia, Muse is in Michigan, I'm in Jersey. So if you look at that, like we're all over the place, and our other co-host is in Nashville. So it's really cool that you can bring all these people together into the screen and let that flow. Obviously, it's a different environment. I would love to be in Seattle doing this, like in person. That'd be awesome. But doing it on screen is just as great. And for your contribution to it, obviously it would not work if you didn't nail it. So well done. One of the questions that Muse asked before you jumped on, Muse is my co-host here. She asked what was some of your favorite parts of Evil Dead 2? What influenced you? Are you familiar with the movie and whatnot?
I wasn't a giant part of designing things in this, but like the movie in general, I'm just a giant Sam Raimi fan. So, and horror in general. So like just his, I don't know, he's a genius in editing when it comes to making horror into almost a form of comedy and lightheartedness. And I don't know, I appreciate that. I feel like when we ended up making The Room, a lot of that kind of translated, not only in our design, but also then when we came and did the virtual room, we really focused on like character work, and I feel like our character kind of reflects who we wanted to bring into that universe, and like the same kind of weird comedic horror stylings. Like, I don't know, Shemp's a weird guy, but he also really fits into that universe. He's like he shouldn't be there, should he?
Yeah. Well, Seth did a really good job with Shemp and definitely helped us out. So I'm glad you jumped on at the time you did, because you guys really frustrated us. You know, we're going crazy trying to figure out what does this key go to? What is that puzzle? What the hell does this mean? Get the goggles. What does this say? So now we get our revenge on you guys. So there's 5 of you. I don't think we've ever had 5 people on our show. Muse, I don't think so, right? Probably not. So what we like to do at this point in the show is we call it the Deathly 13. It's 13 trivia questions. Now, I don't know what they are, Horo doesn't know what they are, and Chris doesn't know what they are. Only Muse knows what they are. So she's going to ask you the questions. Now, I don't think we need lifelines for this one. If you really need a lifeline, I'll give you one. But your lifelines are for, you can ask Horo, myself, or Chris. Maybe we might know it. They could be about any horror movie, anything at all. So we're going to go through that. So Muse, go ahead and take it away. And if you know the answer, just shout it out. So, yeah.
So total team play here. So whoever thinks they know the answer, just shout it out. So I'm just going to start out. I'm kind of all over the place with these questions. Some are newer movies, some are older. So I'm just going to start out with a basic movie synopsis, and I'm going to read you that, and I'm going to ask you which movie you think I'm speaking of. All right, here we go. Question 1. An overbearing father throws his son's horror comic book in the garbage. Later.
Creep Show?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, just bust it out. I don't need to go through all that, rigmarole. All right. Great. That's the first question. So you're 1 for 1. So question 2. A little bit in the newer horror realm here. What is the name of the demon in the movie The Nun, which is a spinoff of The Conjuring?
Never seen it.
I don't know if I ended up watching that. It's been like in my Netflix queue.
It's definitely.
Does that count?
Okay, so the lifelines, of course, are that you can ask any of our co-hosts besides me, or you have multiple choice. I can give you that, or we can postpone a question until later, like maybe it's on the tip of your tongue, and we can swing around back to it at the end. So if none of you guys know, do you guys want to use one of your lifelines, or do you want to take a miss, or?
Pass, I say, and come back to it.
I want to do it. Let's do multiple choice just so I can hear the possibilities because I have no idea.
All right. Is it Pazuzu, Mary, or Valak?
Oh, that's got to be Mary because isn't Valak?
Is it though? I don't know.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Like,
Look at ZC jumping out of his seat over there. You could use the lifeline there.
Mary kind of makes sense for a nun, but
Yeah, because Valak isn't that a?
Valak.
Oh, it's because I'm thinking, isn't that a Philip K. Dick book title? Valak, or maybe maybe it's spelled different. Yeah.
That's Horo's Dungeons and Dragons name, Valak.
I'm saying it's Pazuzu. Final answer.
Okay.
Final answer. Okay, that's a no. That's a no. Valak was the right answer.
Pazuzu is Exorcist.
That's
Yes.
right.
God.
and I just threw Mary in because it sounded like something that would be in a horror movie, maybe, or something that might throw
Sister
everybody off.
Mary.
Right? Yeah. So maybe like a nun's name. Okay, so question 3: how many Ring movies are there in the franchise? How many?
Too many.
Is this the American?
Actually have the ring in the title or
American versions.
oh, American version. Okay, that's the other answer.
Isn't there only 3?
I like your answer.
All right, let's do it. 3. 3 to Tyler. All right.
Yeah.
All right, question 4. Finn Wolfhard, who stars in the hit series Stranger Things, has also appeared in what horror movie remake?
It.
Yes, that is correct. It's all right.
Also in home movies, The Princess Bride.
Okay.
Yeah, I just popped it for the last question.
All right. All right, question 5. I'm gonna hit you guys with another movie synopsis, and just if you know it before I finish it, just scream it out. All right. A meteorite crashes to Earth carrying a gelatinous alien that grows and grows
Blob?
and grows. Yes. I was like, about the third grows, somebody's gonna get it.
Well, I was going to say, that's also Creep Show. Until you said Blob.
I thought it was Creep Show too until you said Blob. Yeah, or my ex girlfriend. I didn't know. Pick one.
Totally.
All right. Question 6. Paris Hilton's on-screen demise was the primary draw for what 2005 remake? Chris is jumping out of his seat. If you guys don't know.
The Wax Museum something or other?
Oh, wait, you got Wax
House of
right.
Wax.
Waxworks?
Wax.
Oh.
Yeah, I
House
think
Wait, say it. Did they say it yet? I didn't hear it. A clear version.
House of Wax?
yes.
Yeah, there it is. There it
That's
is.
what Tyler said, that, not me.
Yeah.
I was thinking the 80s movie Waxworks, which I love.
First horror movie I saw in the theater was Waxwork. I love that movie.
That had the kid from Last Starfighter in it, right?
Oh no.
Or
Was he?
the
Alex
main
Brady?
guy-
Gremlins. I think
Oh,
it's
that's what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Gremlins guy. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, question 7. Mythbuster Jamie Hyneman created the animatronic spider used in the climax of what 1990 film?
Kroll.
Arachnophobia.
Arachnophobia. I heard it.
Oh, was it? No, I thought it was Kroll for some reason.
No, arachnophobia.
Yeah, it's Arachnophobia. That was a blast to see in the theater. All right. Question 8. So this is kind of a different kind of question than I usually ask. I'm going to ask, you'll understand when I read you the question. Okay. It says, horror can show up in unexpected places. Like when a man awakes to find a horse's head in his bed in this 1972 crime saga. Yes. I had to throw that in there because I love that movie. All right.
I have a horse-head pillow.
I thought you were going to say because you love horses. And I was going to be like, oh, no, that's not the right thing to say.
No, I just like that scene, and I actually made myself a horse head pillow. So I have a
Wow.
Love it. All right. All right. Question 9. At the end of the film The Witch from 2015, or it might have been 16. What does Thomason write in the book belonging to Black Phillip?
Oh no, I just watched this.
The end.
Her name.
Right.
The end.
Is
Yeah,
that-
it's on my butt.
You remember
I-
you guys can ask some of the co-hosts if they may know.
I think Ken knows.
No, I don't.
Oh.
Don't ask me. I don't remember.
Okay.
I could guess. I can guess, but I can't remember. I'm thinking like.
I thought it was her name, but I
Does she
Oh,
write-
wait. What did Andrea say?
thought it was her name.
I think she's right.
Oh, I said that earlier, and then you like
She wrote her name. Didn't she sign?
ignored.
Yeah.
'Cause
She
that's
signed her
what you
name
sign in
because she
Philip
heard
School. You sign "Have a great summer" and then your name.
Just like
That's
the
it.
yearbook, yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. Pretty
Is-
much it.
Yes, it was her name. Andrea nailed
Oh.
it. All right.
and her naked butt. See? So,
As they were flying through the sky.
yes.
All right. You guys would have been a blast to go to high school with. I never got cool stuff like that in my yearbook. Question 10. What word does protagonist Michelle find scratched into a second hatch when repairing a ventilator in the movie 10 Cloverfield Lane from 2016? One word she finds scratched as she's fixing the ventilator and she finds this word scratched and it really freaks her out.
Oh man,
Never saw that one.
Oh, that's a great thriller, sci-fi.
I
thriller.
love it.
On my
Yes.
list, I know.
In fact, the director of that actually went to that movie camp for kids where I went to Trachtenberg. I'm almost positive that was the same guy who went to that camp. Jeez, what is that? Oh,
We could always come back to that one if you want.
Yeah, we can
And
come
it
back.
might come to you.
that is such a good movie too.
Definitely, yeah. For anyone who has not seen that, you got to check that out. It's great. Keeps you guessing all the way till the end, too.
Horo might know that one. I don't know. Horo, do you know
You know
that
that
one?
one? Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like you guys might need some help. I don't know.
Oh!
So you guys want to pull? I'll give you a card. You want to ask Horo, see if he knows? Take a chance.
How do you spell it?
Blank.
Well, he gave you a clue when he answered you. He said it sounded like you guys could use a little help.
Oh, help! The word help.
Yep. It is
All
help.
right.
All
Or
right.
they didn't have the key all the way scratched through, so they're like, "Health? What is this?" stand for?" And everyone
Right,
dies.
she's like, I'm trying to repair this ventilator for my
Yeah,
home.
you had to
That's
you had to use the red glasses to find out and get it sent to you by the champ to find out. That's pretty much it.
right. Okay, question 11. You guys are killing me. I'm like trying to get through these.
No,
questions.
12. We're on 12.
You guys are great. Oh, we're in question 12? Okay. What?
Oh wait, no. I'm sorry. You're right. I was wrong this time. Yes.
I
'cause
know.
they-
I
yes.
have them numbered this time. I'm like, you're telling me I know how to count. What the
Sorry.
heck? Okay.
Sorry. It's the beers.
Okay. All right. Question 11.
11.
What actor from The Breakfast Club also starred in Maximum Overdrive from 1986?
Lou Estevez?
Yes, Emilio Estevez. All right. All right. Question 12. I'm going to give you another movie synopsis and just shout it out if you know it. While spying on her son at the zoo, an overbearing mother gets bitten by a Sumatran rat monkey and becomes a zombie. Then things
When
get
that happens.
really messy in this 1992 film.
Buy a zombie or buy a monkey.
George goes to the zoo.
Curious George. No, was
Curious,
that 20
Curious George 2020 COVID
was that,
edition.
that wasn't 28 Days Later, was it?
No.
Nope, this is older.
Dustin, Dustin Hoffman.
Oh,
right?
Outbreak.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a New Zealand Peter Jackson movie.
Yes, Chris knows. Chris knows.
Oh wait,
Dead
am I
Alive?
wrong?
Dead Alive.
Oh,
It
I
is
was
Dead
wrong.
Alive.
Oh, I
Okay.
was wrong. I'm so
Peter
wrong.
Jackson, yeah, that Peter
I was gonna
Jackson.
say Outbreak didn't have zombies in it.
Ah, I'm so sorry. I was thinking
I
of
was
something
going
else.
off the Dustin Hoffman
Sorry,
hint. But
Okay.
my bad. I'm gonna shut up right now.
I was like, Outbreak, man. I need to see that version. I don't know. That was the director's cut.
Well, listen. You guys have gone. This is your last question. You only missed the one. You missed the second one. But if you get this one right, it's worth 2 points. So you can go in 13 for 13. So not bad. So let's see what happens with number 13.
All right. What is the title of the annual Halloween episode of The Simpsons? What do they call
House
it?
of Horror.
Treehouse of Horrors.
And it
Tree-
has
Yes.
in Roman numerals the year after.
Yeah.
Yes, Treehouse of Horror. You guys nailed it. All right.
Good job, guys. Well done. Yeah.
We're number two.
Hey, you know what? Just like us, you guys made it out by the skin of your teeth at the last second here. So 13 for 13 on the Deathly 13. Well done. Before we let you guys go, I want to just go around the horn here. Tyler, we'll start with you, and then you could pass it on to another one. Just tell us what you're working on, what's in the mix, where can we find you on social media, and what's going on with you?
Oh boy. Social media is not really a thing I use all that often, so you can't find me.
Good for you. Good for you.
So,
Yeah, it's the devil.
I'm working on some stuff with Hourglass right now. We're working on a new digital version of a room we have currently. Our Mad Pharaoh room is going to be turned into an amazing digital version of that. And then I'm also working on a print and play version of another escape room. It's a lot of puzzle stuff that I'm working on. So I'm pretty happy with that. Those will be out probably sometime this month, hopefully.
I hope. And then I'd say in the next 2 weeks we should have our next game up and running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it for me. I'm gonna go popcorn Regan.
Well, I'm currently working on some props fabrication for a museum in Washington, D.C. I guess it's a children's museum, really. So it's almost like an escape room thing in that it's an experiential museum thing, and they do have a bunch of puzzles to solve and stuff like that. But like I said, primarily I'm actually a filmmaker. I'll toss out a film that is in post right now that's probably going to come out at some time in the next couple of months or something. I don't know. It's called The Parish. That's one that I was the production designer on. Bill Oberst Jr. is in it. If you guys are big
Oh, yeah.
fans,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure you know who he is. It's the third film that I've worked on with him. Yeah, I think that was kind of on schedule to be released, around June or so. And now, of course, everything happened, and so probably still be out by the end of the year, somewhere out there. Yeah, that's. I mean, I've have a whole lot of other films that I've worked on too, but that's the one that comes off the top of my head as one that might be landing sometime soon, and it is a horror film. So there you go, The Parish.
Right on.
Ain't it? It's good.
Who wants to go now? Andrea, since you spoke, what do you got working on? What's up with you?
I'm making masks.
All right. Is that a Silence of the Lambs moth? There it is. So there you go.
So tantabydesign.com, and it can be yours. But I just have to show you guys this fabric. You can tell.
Oh wow, a bunch of jokers and
Horror pals. Yeah, I'm
yeah,
my
Chuck.
favorite.
Cool. Wow.
So adorable.
Like it.
And I've recently become for the Washington, the film community, recently become a COVID compliance officer. So
Oh, there you go.
yeah.
So you're scanning them as they walk in and logging it, right? I know all about that. Yeah.
Every day it changes. So I
Yeah.
have, okay, now what are we doing? Now what are we doing?
Yeah.
Can't do that anymore. No, we're actually doing with Cascadia Dread an online another Zoom conference type film called Truth or Death, and it's a horror comedy working with some of the really fantastic teen actors around the Seattle areas. We're going to shoot that next week. So look for it.
Excellent job. And then Seth, you want to bring it on home? Or I'm sorry, Tom. We'll go to Tom first, and we'll go to Seth.
Sure. So what I've been working on lately is a bunch of escape rooms, some museum stuff in the film world. Pre-COVID, I was working on some stuff for NBC Studios for a bunch of pilots, but who knows where the hell that'll ever come back. The film industry is screwed right now, but luckily I still got escape rooms going on. You can see this giant monkey back here. He's going to be an animatronic one day. Yeah, we're just going to keep on keeping on. You can find me at Kanabi Labs. You can Google that. With all my social shit below.
Right on. All right, Seth, bring us on home, Seth.
So I am working with Tyler on some of these. Actually, Tyler's actually working on them. I am just delegating because I don't know how to do the stuff he does. So we've got our Rise of the Mad Pharaoh, our Operation Zoomies print and play, and then we have a couple other things that we might bring online. And then I'm going to be speaking at Recon Escape Room Convention, which is next Sunday and Monday. I'm on a panel there, and then we also have, hopefully, our Shadow over Innsmouth Arkham Horror Room will happen in the next few months. I am beyond ecstatic on that. But other than that, just trying to keep the Evil Dead remote going, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, just projects.
Well, listen, on behalf of Where the Scary Things Are and my host, to each and one of you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you for letting us do the room. For our listeners, check it out, please. Go to hourglassescapes.com. You can find them on Facebook like I did and on Twitter. Do this. If you're looking for something to do with your friends, do this. It is so much fun. Before we got on the Zoom call, I texted my wife, like, we got to do it again. So, Seth, I'll be hitting you up again.
Awesome.
But 100%, this was something really fun, really creative. It's hard, and you definitely got to bring in smart people, because if you have a bunch of muses there, you're not going to get anywhere. Anyway, I had to take a shot at my co-host. But anyway, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Good job on the Deathly 13. And yeah, keep it scary. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.